and welcome to Freshly Served, the healthy vegan cooking show. I'm Heather, and tonight we are making Tuscan white beans, which will have some lovely Italian seasoning, and I'm using cannellini beans. Now, cannellini beans are a creamy kind of white bean. They're sometimes called white kidney beans. You can use pretty much any kind of white bean you can find, so if you can't get a hold of cannellini, you could also use Great Northern beans or navy beans or whatever other type of white bean that you can find, but the cannellini are the creamiest, and this is going to go really nicely with the zucchini that I've already chopped up here. I'm mixing the beans with some vegetables just to lighten it up. If you eat beans on their own, because they are so concentrated in protein and fiber, that's why you often have difficulty digesting them. If you eat too many of them at once, they're going to cause some problems. So if we lighten it up with some vegetables, it's going to go down a lot smoother. I've got my pan heating up on the burner here, and it's just at medium. I'll put a bit of olive oil in the pan. And the first thing I'm going to put in here is some garlic. And I'm pressing my garlic today just because it's fun. I wait until I've got the pan hot to press it because you get some really awesome juice coming out of this garlic. And if you press it beforehand, you're losing out. And I also like to use the leftovers that are in there. So that's starting to sizzle, which is great. I'm just gonna let the garlic soften a little bit, and then I'll put the zucchini in. Gotta keep an eye on the garlic because it will cook very quickly. This is just starting to look a little bit brown. I don't really want to brown the garlic, so I'm gonna throw my zucchini in right now. Zucchini will take a while. You just wanna get it in the pan, stir it around, and then let it cook until it's really nice and soft. So I've had to be a bit patient here with my zucchini because I like large chunks and they take a bit longer to cook. So if you're in a rush, just cut up your zucchini a bit smaller. But if you can see, these are now really nice and soft. Some of them are just starting to brown, which is lovely. And I'm ready to add the beans, which I have pre-cooked. And I put the instructions on the recipe. But what you want to do is cook these guys for at least an hour. They can go in at a gentle boil. You can soak these ones overnight as well. You don't need to. That's why I didn't put it in the recipe. But soaking them does help them digest a bit better. So if you want to soak them overnight, go for it. It'll probably shorten the cooking time by a little bit. But you can't really overcook beans. The more you cook them, the softer they will get. So as long as you have enough water in there. Okay, so I've just mixed those through. And what happens with the beans is they have no flavor on their own. So we're going to add the flavor by putting some herbs in. And the zucchini is going to add flavor as well. I know you're probably thinking, zucchini, really? It has flavor. It's going to bring it in. The juices will make things yummy. So I'm using rosemary and oregano in this dish. And although I don't have any fresh from the garden right now because it's winter, I did dry some. So I'm using some dried oregano from the garden, but then the rosemary, I didn't actually dry any, so I'm having to use some from the store. I'm also going to add some sea salt. And I never put salt measurements in my recipe because I really just go on feel, and some people like a little bit more than others. But really what the purpose of the salt is to bring the flavors together. So you don't want it to taste salty. It's just going to bring the flavors together. And remember, if you cooked your beans without salt, or if you've managed to find a can that was not cooked with salt, the beans need some salt in them to bring that flavor in. Otherwise, the flavor won't be able to go into the bean. You need 10 minutes at least for the flavors to work their way into the bean. And what I'm going to do to help that along a little bit is add a bit of white wine. You could also use something else if you don't like it, but Adds a very nice flavor to these Italian beans. You could maybe use a little bit of lemon juice, or if you want something a little bit softer, maybe some kind of other juice like apple juice or I don't know, cranberry juice might be nice. So I've just got that on there, and I'm gonna let these sit for at least 10 minutes. You don't need to cover it. It'll get a nice creaminess going if you don't. I think I'm gonna cover this right now because I didn't get too much juice out of these zucchinis for whatever reason, and I don't want to lose any. So let that sit for at least 10 minutes, and then we'll be ready to serve it. All right, so I've got it all ready to go here. I let these guys cook for more like 15 minutes to let the flavors really get in there. And I've got this served over a bed of lettuce. Spinach is nicer because it holds up better when you put the hot beans on top, but I didn't realize that Phil used up our spinach in a salad last night. So anyway, lettuce works for me too. If you want to, you can put this over some grains. I would recommend using at least twice as much grain as you have beans here, just to help get that digested more easily. So enjoy it, a lovely, healthy Tuscan white bean meal.